All right, glad to know you're still with us. The program is still Business Rendezvous on independent television. Okay, so Dr. Osaze, you are a close, of course, very close follower of the economy, who of course has been following through with all of the things happening, especially as it concerns the newly redesigned notes, all of the cashless policy that CBN is pursuing rigorously and doing everything possible to ensure that this comes into fruition. Dr. Saze, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Dennis.
Okay, so I want to start off this way. Well, looking at how CBN is taking this policy, would you want to say it's just an attempt by the Apex Bank to ensure that everything possible is done to see that the cashless policy becomes a reality, no matter what?
Yeah, we have heard different reasons being adduced for the NAIRA redesign. They call it redesign, but for me, it's every feature of the former currency is in the new currency. So it's maybe re-inking or repainting or whatever. So it's just semantics. But for me, I think from the backlash or from whatever has come out so far to this point, my own opinion, I think the CBN, its governor and its management really owe Nigerians an apology, because there's at the end of the day, we are seeing the sufferings that Nigerians are going through. We have people sleeping at ATM points and so on. I listened to the CBN governor when he was making, he gave a press statement when he came out from the president's, from the villa, when he took permission, when he said he had gone to seek approval for extension. And very quickly, from the statements he made, you can see he adduced some reasons for this NAIRA redesign. First of all, he said people were keeping money in their homes for speculation. And when you look at it, let me first state that people have stated, he also stated that it's for efficacious monetary policy. And I can't see how that really works out. Because if you say people are keeping money for speculation purposes, how is that really criminal? How is that really against any known theory? Because if you read basic economics, SS1 economics, they tell you you have 3 reasons for holding money. 3 reasons why people can call it functions of money. 1, transactional reasons, that for buying and selling. 2, precautionary reason, to have money for the rainy day. We call it rainy day money. In case you see a car, somebody wants to just say 150,000, you just quickly buy something like savings. Then speculatory purpose. That's the 3rd purpose for holding money. So if you say people are holding it for speculation, I can't see how that's wrong. That's one of the purposes for holding money. Basic economics. Speculation, probably you want to use it to buy shares, you want to buy assets, TB rates. Whenever rates go down, you buy, so that when shares go up, you sell. That's speculation. Even for assets and so. So I don't see where that's a problem if people are holding money for speculation. He also gave another reasons that you have 3.23 trillion currency, 2.73 is outside the banking sector. And I'm asking also, where is that a criminal thing too? The bank is not, he said they want to bring in money into the banking sector. The bank is not supposed to hold money. Money is supposed to be in the economy. Basic economics too. Money is not, it's not supposed to be in bank vault. I worked in the bank after I served. There's a certain level you get to when you're vault. We are looking for how to evacuate money. I think beyond 20 million, every bank branch, bankers know. At any point when that money gets to that point, you are looking for, you are calling one branch. I worked in Lagos, one of the bank. Please, can I bring money? So money is not supposed to be in bank vault. Money is supposed to be in the economy. As of November last year, US economy, I'm talking of US, was having 2.1 trillion, it can be verified, $2.1 trillion in circulation. 2.1 trillion. So if Nigeria is complaining about 2.73 trillion naira, that's really hard to understand. 2.1 trillion was in circulation in November 2020 in US. And the economy was, the American government was saying that that's signs of good. Money is supposed, it's not supposed to be in the bank vault. Money is supposed to be in the economy. But even if you are complaining about that, even if the CBN, I also listened to the speech, he said 2015 money supply was 1.4 trillion. That but 2022, that's 7 years later, it's now 3.23 trillion. That's normal. Over 7 years. And remember that in 2020, after the COVID period, CBN had a lot of intervention policies. Because of, to stimulate the economy after COVID. To give interventions to aviation industry, manufacturing industry, pharmaceutical, that was pumping money into a circulation. And CBN have been printing money too. Our governor here, Governor Baseki, made that allegation made that exposure. It's not even an allegation. It was he said that in 2020-2021 that CBN was printing money. The governor, the Minister of Finance initially denied that, but unsuccessfully, the CBN governor now came and said, no, we are creating money. And that's semantics. Creating, printing is money. You are printing money. And that it was said that that's what all the allocations they do at FEC, when you give monthly allocations to FEC, was from printing. So it means you are bringing money into circulation. You are printing money. The money was not supposed to be inside your vault. You are printing it out. Then Ways and Means also has increased to about 24 trillion. In 2015, he was referring to Ways and Means was less than $1 trillion. Ways and Means now is 24 trillion. That's money it has borrowed to government. And when you borrow to government, you put it in government coffers. People are the ones supervising those coffers. You are paying for maintenance of roads, for bridges. You are giving out contracts to people. People are making profit. So money is expected to be in circulation. So it's not a strange thing that he's saying that there's money in circulation. You have brought money in circulation during the last period. And also, inflation also increased. Inflation in 2015 was less than about 11%. Now it's 21.34%. So it means that my money that I've been keeping in the bank, my savings will reduce. If in 2015 I was buying bag of rice for 8,000, now bag of rice is 46,000. It means if I was buying 8,000 then, I earn 200,000 salary. I will spend 50,000 and keep 150 in the bank. But now because of inflation, I'm spending more. So I cannot have that amount of savings that I have in the bank anymore. So it means my savings in the bank will reduce. Because of inflation, I'm spending more. So you don't expect that such money will be in the bank. So many reasons. Internet penetration. We are talking, you don't do copy and paste from a developed country and put in Nigeria. What's our internet penetration? It's 38%. I know NCC said last year it went to 42%. Even at that, 42% is very low for a country like Nigeria. So it means that those in the rural areas, I'm not even talking so far. I went to Evonika here just like two weeks ago. Evonika is just 9-4. It's not in the village. Just about 10 minutes drive from Oluku. Only of the 4 networks, 3 major networks, 4, there are 4. Only one goes in Evonika. I mean, just my backyard here. Somewhere here at Iguadolo is just one. In fact, no network goes. So this is, I'm not talking of internet pages, just calls. So how do you want people to carry out the cashless policy when the internet penetration is not there? You don't have banks in most of these. There was a time when we had community banks in the village, but now you no more have community banks. So how do you want the rural people to carry out banking? I'm talking of Ogida Market. You know Ogida Market, just like Texas here. From Ogida Market down to Teacher's House. Teacher's House is a hub. It's a big commercial hub. From Ogida Market to Teacher's House to Ego Market, there is no bank. It's verifiable. Just at Ego Market, you have Ogida Market, you have Eco Bank. So we are talking of the city centers. So we are not talking of the rural. And so how do you want this internet penetration? It's like putting the cart before the horse. You have not settled your infrastructural problems. Even now, you see there's pressure on banking. When you are trying to do transfer, I was trying to buy a bag of rice, I think like half bag of rice last 2 weeks. I paid around 4. By 6, the woman was saying she wants to close her, so she hadn't gotten the transfer. It was the next morning I had to come for it. So you are putting pressure on an already tough infrastructure. The internet penetration, the telecommunication people have been complaining about cost of running diesel and so on. So they are even struggling with the infrastructure they have, and you want to add more. So all these reasons, even in economics, you have what you call broad money. So if he's complaining about 3.23 trillion, in broad money, money supply, total money supply in the economy, as at October 2022, was 50.58 trillion. Total money supply. You know, in total money supply, you have narrow money and broad money. So narrow money, this is your cash, this is your liquid cash. Then there's what we call quasi money. That's money that can quickly be converted to cash, like your shares, your treasury bills, easily convertible. Then you have demand deposit money. These are types of money. Demand deposit is like your savings account that you can easily go and take without notice. Why? Time deposit is your fixed account, which you have to give notice. So that's what makes up the total money supply of 50 trillion. As at January, I know it's about 52 trillion. Of that 52 trillion, only 2.73 trillion is what the CBN government is complaining about that is in circulation. 2.73 as a percentage of 50.2 trillion is less than 5%. So if you have 50.2 trillion in the banking sector, 2 trillion is out. There's about 49 trillion is still in the banking sector. What's the complaint about that 2.3 trillion that is outside? So you see that it's just like a wild goose chase. You cannot be pursuing 2.73 trillion when you have 50.2 trillion money supply. And in any case, Nigeria is a big informal sector. You have 60% of the economy is informal sector, 60%.
Yeah.
Just 40% is the formal sector. So you look at a place like Benin, Ekpoman, so how many malls do we have? In developed countries, UK, you have malls everywhere. So people go to buy your tomatoes, your corn, your onions. Yeah. You buy it from the malls. But we have about 3-point-something million or 2 point, yeah, in Edo State. So in Benin, I don't think I can count up to 10 malls. So it can't take us. So our purchases are in the local market, New Benin, Ekiosa, urban market, where those people don't have bank accounts. You have just about 60,000 BVNs in Nigeria, okay, of about 200 million people. So 60,000 BVNs, it means the Hausa man that is selling does not have BVN, does not have bank account. You are buying onions, you're buying tomatoes, you're buying it from the informal sector, which is not connected to the banking sector, and that's because of obvious reasons, because it has not been able to capture the entire. So these are things that the CBN governor could have solved first. Okay. And you know, most of the things are working capital, Most of these purchases that we do, our market women is working capital. They are. A woman starts selling corn or tomatoes with 50,000 naira. So what does she do? When she sells, she makes profit of maybe 10,000 today. She uses 2,000 to buy food to take home that they'll eat today. The remaining balance 8,000. Tomorrow early morning, she's going to the village market at Mubogwi to go and buy those corn and the rest back and come and sell. So the money is always in transit. It's not sitting there. Your daily pay, bricklayers, the booking, so you pay them 5,000, they give their children from inside. The 3,000, maybe he has one building site. He tells the block moder, come mode block, I don't go. So the money is always in transit. It doesn't sit in the bank. So because of the large informal sector, you can't be expecting that you are going to mop up money. In any case, if you are mopping up money, the orthodox methods for mopping up money is open market operations. You sell assets, then when you sell, people buy, you mop up money. Yeah. You have special directives. You have moral restrictions. Those are the orthodox methods we know for mopping up money, if that's the problem. So the NAIRA redesign is very clear. I could give more reasons just because of time. Yeah. You see that it's just out of, my personal opinion, it's just out of mischief. There's just a political undertone behind it. And you don't use public policy to fight political targets. Okay. Because you talk about vote buying, and I've heard many economists say that yes, for vote buying, and that's not even an argument. CBN has 5 roles: economic growth, price stability, exchange rate stability, full employment rate, and there are about 5. None of them is supposed to vote buying, terrorism that he talked about. They are not monetary roles. It's not his business. It's a fiscal policy measure that government takes care of it. It's just a sign of a dysfunctional economy where people now start to carry out the rules of other people. It's not a monetary policy role. Vote buying, terrorism, it's not the business of the monetary authorities. It's the business of the fiscal authorities. So doing that because you are targeting some people is very wrong. You have EFCC, ICP, ICPC, NFIU, DSS. These are companies, these are organizations that we fund with public money. Their budget that they budget every year runs into billions. It is for this purpose that they are paid, to go for targets. Yeah. You have somebody that you think is keeping illicit money, you go for him. You don't use public policy to target how many politicians are. Looking at the way people are suffering, I think the CBN governor and the CBN management then have to tender an unreserved apology to the people, because you don't use public policy because of political. You cannot say you have been on the seat as governor since 2014, and all of a sudden after 8 years you just realize that you now want to redesign. You now want to redesign the NAIRA. After 8 years on the seat, just in September there was promise in August. 2 months later, you decide to redesign the NAIRA. It's just like the oil cried in the night and the baby died in the morning. So you see that, what's the hurry about? You do NAIRA redesign. When you talk of redesign, it's supposed to take like 2 years. Normally, we changed our 15 naira, 20 naira notes to polymer. Yeah. Did we know when the old ones left circulation? It just went out. 100 naira was changed too. It's just a natural process. With friction, it goes out, 2 years cycle. But to now bring this hurry policy, 3 months, even see the nature of the quality, you see that. So you see that there's political undertone beyond economic. So anybody who tells you that it's for economic purposes, the person is just being theoretical. Okay. Because there's really no basis for this for the policy. Yeah. Okay, so a quick one now. The extension based on that judgment passed by the Supreme Court. Yes, that was last week Wednesday, which of course is no longer news to the public domain. What kind of confusion has this created? I mean, in terms of which of the notes to accept the old one, to accept the new one. Yeah, I think it's also another indication of how really terribly our country has come into in the last few years. It's just like Nigeria is just almost like a captured state, because the Supreme Court gave a judgment. Though there are technicalities, I understand the technicalities. The technicalities are that the state government, Supreme Court has jurisdiction of original, that's what they call original jurisdiction, to be the first court of hearing in cases between the state government, different tiers of government. So this one was 3 state governments, Kogi, Kaduna, and Zamfara, taking the federal government to court. So you can understand that it's government taking federal. So that's why it went to Supreme Court. But the technicalities the CBN is trying to raise is that the CBN was not a party to the suit. You understand? The state government took the federal government because it's at the governmental level that Supreme Court can be court of original jurisdiction. So CBN is saying that as far as it was not a party to the suit, it's not bound by the ruling of the Supreme Court. But the federal government came out, and the Minister of the Attorney General came out, I think, 9th to that 10th of February, and said the federal government intends to obey the ruling. But for me, I think that was just for the optics. It was just a way of saying that, so that it will be seen that we are obeying the rule of law. But CBN, CBN is now saying that it's an independent body. So it's independent of federal. So federal government is speaking for itself. So it's not. So the CBN technically is saying that it's still going ahead with its policy. So for me, whether the Supreme Court ruling, since CBN was not a party to the suit, whether the Supreme Court ruling covers or is binding on CBN, that's now for lawyers. I don't want to give a wrong judgment since I'm not an expert in that area. But I think it's for lawyers. But I would have felt that the Supreme Court is the apex court of the land. Its judgment should be binding. But I also understand the fact that CBN is trying. I told some people, I said CBN, because of the first extension it did first in January, and January 26, when it made that extension, it does not want to be seen as not being serious. So it might not come out again, so that people will not sort of see them finish. So they will just lie low. But we know that even as at Friday, most big organizations have stopped taking the old currency. I went to the state hospital, even a mega filling station. Many were saying, even my cousin was coming from the airport, he said they didn't take it. So it has only kept, it's just unfortunate. So the government has just thrown people into limbo. So it's not saying it's not saying the deadline has been extended, it's also keeping quiet. So it's just leaving people, but most people did not return on Friday because they've learned their first lesson. They returned it was like an ambush. They took their money and they did not give them back. Some took the old money, running into thousands, and they were paying them 2,000 or 1,000 across the counter. So it's just unfortunate. The government has just proved to not be responsible enough to make out statements. It should be strong enough to make out statements. This is our position. But for now, CBN is playing aloof. Federal government is also, so I don't know. So
I mean, well, the matter is still in court from now till 15th.
Yeah, on the 15th.
Yes. So we don't know what will happen after then. But then, what do you think will be the way out, the easy way out for the CBN? Because it's almost like the CBN now has put itself in some kind of ambush, like you said.
It has done that, and that's why I said the CBN and its management should come out and apologize to Nigerians.
So after apologizing,
it should apologize and allow the 2 notes to run concurrently. That's one, or print more of the new notes. But now they are also in a limbo because they don't know how much of the old notes is in circulation, so they don't want to also print more, so that we don't go back to where we're coming from. You now have so much money in circulation, and it's a very big problem because they are running a risk of now creating apathy for the banking sector. Because when you see the faces of, I listened to your Wasono program on TV, you see people sleeping at the ATM point. So those kind of people, I can tell you, if they get a hold on their money, they will never come back to the banking sector again. You will now be expanding the informal sector, they will use the IDARA and so on. So you are further causing financial exclusion instead of deepening inclusion. The informal sector is widening. They are further starving. The whole essence of bringing money to the banking sector might just be this.
Dr. Osaze Iyoa, thank you so much for helping us dissect this issue. But of course, we always love to invite you on the show, because whenever we do, you always have a broader perspective to the issues.
Thank you very much.
The program is the Business Rendezvous. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Please hold on.